Hi, I'm Nalini, and for the month of July, Source would like to speak to you about your Source essence. Now, the Source that I mention when I say Source would like to speak to you is no different, and there is no separation from your Source essence, your inner light, your essence, the clear light of reality. We have all these terms for it in every tradition, every path, but this is Source, the Source. And what wants to be conveyed, wants to be communicated for the month of July is an integration of this massive wave. Think of it as a tide. Thinking of it as a tidal wave, a tsunami helps because it helps our minds to wrap around the immensity. But this is a tide, a sea on the move that has come through the solstice and is still very, very much present, no longer cresting, but moving forward. This is not a wave that has crested and crashed. This is a wave that has crested and is moving through all of us, through the planet, refreshing Gaia, resetting her. We are being remade by this wave. Now, on the surface, in the surface world, the human collective, it may not look like it. Things may look worse or uncomfortable or just downright horrible. But remember that every perception is being shifted now. Now, this is not to say that things that we don't like or don't want will all of a sudden become good. Of course not, because that has to do with the duality flow that is being transcended, released, and relieved on this planet. We are moving into unity, and the components of duality, they're bits and pieces, the aspects that form a perspective or a position all exist within unity, but they are not in these locked forms anymore. The Chinese puzzle is gone if we let it be. Now, if we insist on it, there are realities that will be birthed. They're waiting. I think Source, this is me, I think Source would like them to be smaller. It's hard to say because she always says yes. When we say, I am this, I want this, I am not this, I don't want that, Source always says yes, because this is a learning planet, an immersive experience. Do we control it? No, of course not. And this is part of what has been perpetrated, misunderstood, misconstrued, and abused on this world by the human collective. We are all part of nature. We are all part of Source. Every one of us. Even the things we don't want to look at, we don't want to hear or see. And that all has to do with frequency and with resonance. And this sieving, sorting, threshing floor energy that moved as a huge gold-white, blue-white wave of light is still moving through the first week of July. This will still move until around the 5th or the 6th, which is the new moon. It's another reset, but this reset is a refinement. You know how we see waves of light in graphics where there are three strands and they all kind of go, in a certain way, they flow. And we see that image, and what's implied is that this is movement. And notice how the more refined ones are composed of three. That's because the principle of three, the Trinity principle, and I'm not talking any religion's Trinity principle, and they all have one. I'm not talking that, but this principle is still active within Gaia, and it is being changed. Feel how those lines of light, though they are woven together, perhaps always will be, how there's depth within them. There are more lines, more refinements, more filaments within each of those strands. And for those who can see, the pristine level of light is just exquisite. At the moment, everything being remade. The planet, our cells, because they are made of her elements, the way that we perceive fire, water, air, earth, metal, wood, depending on how you see your elements, they're all being upgraded. The frequencies are being upgraded. They're moving forward and up in this cascade of light that is really beautiful to withhold. It's full of stars, it's full of starlight, it's full of sparkles, one could say. Which isn't the point, it's just lovely to look at. What is happening is that with each of our cells, consider it a mini Gaia, a mini Earth, each of our cells is being reconfigured in this way. And all of our light coding are light streams. Now, are our light codes different than our cells? Not really, and yes. And this is all being elevated, accelerated, and amplified through this wave and through the first week of this month until around the 6th, the new moon. And then there's a refinement, a reset, like the camera aperture changing. And then this month will fan out. Planets are all changing signs. This will fan out into refinement, honing, and not so much the threshing, sorting, sieving, but streams of light coalescing, cohesing into configurations that will flow forward into new realities. It's not as though a new reality arrives on a specific date. Some of us can experience that, but it's usually a preview. It flows through the essence of Source's light and becomes, as we, in an echo of Source always saying yes, as we internally, not use the word, but as we internally resonate with a certain bandwidth of frequency, certain vibrations, and we move into those structures. One thing we can do right now to take very good care of our physical and emotional bodies is to take baby steps of recalibration. Usually for this to happen, the physical body has to cease to be, and an infant has to be born. This is happening in our allegedly adult bodies and can feel very strange. So it's taking baby steps into a new balance, a new way of navigating the planet. And we can look around, feel around. When I talk about seeing, it's feeling and knowing. The network of light, of beings of light, star streams, other beings, seen and unseen, all of this is going to be very apparent over the next year and a half or so. Feel the networking and the support. This is a strong network of light, strong bands, filaments of the invincible force, sometimes known as the goddess Durga in the Hindu traditions, but also of Source itself. Source shifts and changes all the time, cannot be vanquished, cannot be made to go away, changes forms all the time. And we have an opportunity during this month of July, during the refinements, the honing, the precision, the exquisite new light codes, to honor and receive, open to, as the Source that we are, through the Source of all that is. They're not separate, and each one is unique, but to that essence that is being born anew. So all of our lifetime agreements and agendas and commitments and obligations really are dissolving right now. And they will not go through into a new reality with us. This is not possible vibrationally. All right, so you know that love and fear cannot exist in the same vibrational space. The love will tend to push the fear out, just like a garden hose, if we allow it. So this is bringing up, the shift is bringing up all of the transitional patterns within us that need to be let go, that need to be relinquished, released, and just appreciated and let to move through us and to be changed, transformed by the Source that we are, which is linked with the Source of all that is. Again, no separation. It's difficult to put language around it. I think new words are going to come into our experience through all of this. They're certainly coming into all of the traditions and disciplines. So for this month, be easy with yourself, be gentle, treat yourself well. Treat your light, the light that you home and house, as if it is sacred. Honor it. This isn't being all special and egotistical, but just really trusting the light within and letting it express through you freely. See what happens. Some of what you love will be the same. There will be nuances and new things and differences. And it is my profound hope that we enjoy them all. We are moving into a time of radiant expression. Why not? Let's let it be.